Hi everyone. For my presentation, I'm going to focus on an overview of the 7 strategies, how I had already been using them in my class, and what I'm doing now as a result of my learning from the course. I also wanted to talk a little bit about the learning goal orientations. I found the information about the learning, performance ego, and task completion orientations really interesting. As I was reading them, I was really able to identify students in my class that held each of those orientations. So what I did was I actually taught my students about the different learning goal orientations, helped them kind of self-assess which one really they had. We've been doing a lot more self-reflection to help students really think about what learning goal they hope to have, and kind of move them toward having that learning goal orientation where they want to learn for the sake of learning, not just to complete a task. For the first strategy, the providing a clear and understandable vision of the learning targets, this is something that I've always done and always felt was important. I've done it a lot in our science and social studies units with questions at the beginning of each one so they know what they should be thinking about while we're learning. But now I'm doing a lot more periodic check-ins to see if they know what they're supposed to be learning, and also having them write their targets on the top of their assignments. Strategy 2, the examples and models of strong and weak work. This is something that I've always done a lot with my writing instruction. It just seemed like a natural way to incorporate that. But now I've been doing it a lot more in math, especially in terms of word problems, having students take a look at, why did the student whose example we're looking at do it well or maybe need to improve. Strategy 3, offering the regular descriptive feedback. Feedback is always something that I've strived to do but can't always find the time. So it's always been something that I've incorporated in writing, but now I'm trying to build in more time in all subject areas to do it, and I'm doing it a lot more with math, giving them questions to think about instead of telling them what to do next. Strategy 4, teaching the students to self-assess and set goals. This is something that I've done at the end of each trimester. I have students do a self-reflection, and then we have a conference and they set goals for themselves for the next trimester. But now I'm going to try to do that more frequently, especially with our math units, because so many math topics build upon each other, having them think about what do I do well and where do I need to go and what do I need to work on. Strategy 5, using the evidence of student learning to determine my next steps. This is something that I've always felt like I've done fairly well, using some of those formative assessment tools like Kahoot and quizzes. But now I really take a lot of time at the end of each day to reflect and think, what went well today? What can I focus on tomorrow? Strategy 6, designing the focused instruction with the practice and feedback. Again, just planning in that time for the practice and the feedback has been huge, and addressing that one component at a time. In writing, I've always done that. Okay, we're going to look at conventions, or we're going to look at our content, but now I'm using that would-be grade strategy where I'll put a grade on there, but then students will have time to go back and change things. Strategy 7, the opportunities to track and reflect on and share their learning progress. This is something that I have always done, more so when I taught the primary grades, but I'm finding how important it is in the intermediate as well. So I use the website EduCreations. They can video their problems that they're doing, and then share them with the class, and I've also had them do a lot more self-reflection. So self-reflection for myself, I got a lot of validation that a lot of the things that I do already are good, useful strategies, but I've also learned so many more, which I think will really help my students. Also, just a parting thought. I loved this. Assessment for learning is a gift we give our students. It is a mirror we hold up to show them how far they have come. It is a promise that we will use assessment not to punish or reward, but to guide them along the path of their learning journey. I couldn't say it any better than that.